You know when you did the season of The Voice?
Right at the end.
Yep.
What you came you were like a finalist, weren't you?
Yeah, well, what happened is that my huge nuts on television just blew everybody's mind. And
yeah, they blew my mind. I remember.
It was so unbelievable that I got to the point where I just couldn't even stomach myself anymore. I couldn't look at another picture of myself.
Yeah, it was the nuts, mate.
It was just crazy, mate. Really, when I did that, I was just so focused. Like I wasn't drinking. Like, oh man, it was just such a hectic time. Really, it was so intense.
Was it?
And really, really intense because it's like it takes about 12 months from the first time that you have your audition, and then you go on to the next audition, and then the next thing you're good enough, and then you go on to go on the blind audition. And I was the last person from all the auditions in, like, my dad and I had been there since like 7:30 in the morning at Foxtel, pardon me, waiting for the what do you call it? The audition, right? Blind audition. So, we're hanging there all day in this tent, eating this, like, shitty catered food, and it's windy and cold, and one after another, people would go in, and it's like, oh, mate, there was so many people there that day that were going in to sing that all day. Like, this tent was full of all the entrants. You're walking around everywhere with these people talking, and and then anyway, next thing, cut a long story short, is you get on the blind audition, and I remember walking up to the little window that is in the door that they push, and then you walk out of. There's a little square piece of glass there, and I've looked through the window, and there's Seal sitting over there, right? And he just like kind of just turns and looks straight into my eyes,
Really?
And I looked at him and I thought, far out, man. Look at that dude. He's like, I always wanted to meet him, ever since I heard that song Crazy. And I thought, wow, that's him. He's fully looked right at me. And then I've gone, okay, go out there and do your thing. And so I've sung, had a great time. He's turned around. He's the only one that turned around. And I was singing Sexual Healing. And lo and behold, right, I was in the show then. It was on for Young and Old, but I was the last person to audition that day after sitting there and waiting for like 100 people to go and do it, hearing all these people do it, right? And then I was the last person, and I took like the last spot, and just one after another, people had come out that I knew and said, don't worry, Mitch, you'll get through. I didn't, but you'll get through. And I'd think, you bet I'll get through, man. I'm going to smash this shit, right? and I did. And then after it, you're suddenly whisked off with, Jose, the cameraman, going, oh, I'm this magic, beautiful. Okay, brother. Oh, yeah. And then after that night, I was sick for 2 weeks, like really sick. It was like, when you have a build up to something and you're so stressed out that after it, then you'd go, oh, relief. And man, I was crook as, and partially because I was left out in the cold with the wind blowing to the very last person in the night time auditioning. But then I went on, and each time I'd go on to do another show, like I just kept going and going and going and going, right? And I just thought, well, all right, this is pretty cool. There's a chance I might actually win, right? But when I think about it, that I won't discuss any of the other things that the show I thought lacked. But what I did think that was an amazing thing in the show is that it got me in front of people, a massive audience, and people. We're funny, human beings. We're funny, We might not remember what show you're on, who you are, what your name is, but they'll remember a feeling that they had when they met you, and they don't know that it was on television, most of the time. And then you tell them it's like, it's like me. I'm playing at a gig. This guy, I kept looking at him, thinking that guy's such a good vibe, having my bromance with this dude, thinking what a cool dude, And I'm looking at him, thinking I know that guy, And I've gone up. I said, do we know each other? And he was like, no. And then I said, no, was it? He said, look, I was on MasterChef. I went, I hopped in your code. You know, I just thought, wow, it's just such a powerful medium, television.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, each week, Barry Nobody would get knocked out, and Mitch Anderson just kept rocking on and rocking on and rocking on. And you know, as the guitarist Chris Gamzella said to me, he said, you know, like, mate, you're just too strong, mate. You know, it's like they've been trying to get rid of you from day one, but they just can't. You're just too strong now. The live shows are on. You know, it's just like you never stop talking. You don't let anyone else talk, and you just like, you know, a politician. You just keep talking and talking and talking and promoting whatever bullshit that's in your head at the moment just to get more airtime. You know, he said it's fantastic, right? So it came down to the top 8, and in that top 8, there was on my team there was the young boy who won the whole thing. His name was Harrison Craig, you know, and Harrison, he was I couldn't figure it out why that when we were hanging out or we were on a bus or a plane and talking, he wouldn't stutter, you know, but when he was on television and being interviewed everywhere, he would stutter, you know. And I asked him, I said, you know, like, Harrison, do you drink alcohol, you know? And he said, oh, Mitchell, I really can't see the use in it. And I said, listen, mate, one day you will see the use in it. Anyway, it came down to that top 8. So the top 4 people were all young'uns. So, you know, here's, I don't know, 18. Celia Pavey, who was absolutely beautiful, you know, and a lovely girl. She's young. She's Miss Murphy and what's the other fella's name? Whatever the other fella's name was, just a nice guy. They're all young, and they were the kind of people that, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard of the guy that won it ever again. You know, I hear of Carice Eden from time to time. She's doing stuff. That was the first series. But as far as there being any kind of like long strokes going on, you know, like, see you later, man. You know, like I got the best of it. I would have loved to have won $250,000. It would have lasted me all of probably 2 weeks. But I really would have loved the fact that, you know, that anybody that watched that knew me, knew that that's exactly how I am, you know, and that was all I was interested in. It was just like singing the songs the best I could, you know, and shooting sparks out of my ass like nothing else, you know, and just really hitting it so hard. And Delta Goodrum, all I wanted to do was just give her a big cuddle every time I saw her, because she's just such a gorgeous woman. Yeah. And Ricky Martin, oh man, Ricky is the man. Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin was on the blind audition, you know, I've got through. I'm standing on the stage, you know, everyone's going, oh, I'm so happy for you. And then suddenly my arm's up like that, right? And I'm being lifted, and I thought, fuck, a tree's got me. Right? I'm being lifted off the stage. And I looked, and it's Seal, right? And he's like, Seal, if anybody doesn't know, right? Seal's like, he's like this big, right? You know what I mean? Where, and his head and everything, he's so massive. He'll be wearing like an Air Force, you know, like in a suit, you know, US Air Force, and come and sit down, he's eating a lollipop, you know, and, you know, talk to you about all this wonderful stuff. And, you know, you just think, oh, well, that's wonderful. You know, what a wonderful lot of information. Thank you very much, Seal. You know, whereas like Ricky Martin was instrumental in just grabbing me straight away after I got through the blind audition, and very similar in a way to the energy that the Angel had in my car, you know, like that guy had in my car, where he got me, and I remember looking at the crook of his arm, right? He's whispering in my ear, and I'm smelling his aftershave, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck, that smells so good, right? And he said, man, yeah, Mitchell, you're gonna have the best time, man. You're so good to your voice, man. You're gonna enjoy it, man. I can't believe that you're gonna have people are gonna be able to hear you, man. I feel so. And he spoke. This went on for about 3 minutes, right? And I'm there, and I'm thinking, don't let go. Don't let go. Please don't let go, right? Because he was the Mitch whisperer, right? And that essence, but that essence that he had, you know, he'd say to me, you know, hey, he said, oh, I love that song, you know, because I'd have arranged nights to say, can I get up? Can I sing that song too? And I'd be like, yeah, sure, you know, or I'd be backstage, and he'd say, hey, Mitch, I went to Cronulla today, man. Someone said you live down that way. Oh man, I took my kids. I want to move here, man. It's beautiful, you know. And then he'd say, "This is my partner, Jose," you know, and that's his manager. And these are my kids, our kids, you know, and they little kids with glasses on, you know, like Gun Vandalia, you know. And the thing is, what I realized, right? What I realized through that whole journey of being on The Voice is that, man, it's a TV show, right? I was lucky enough to get to that point, right? Whereas that they really didn't have any other kind of any other chance other than getting those young kids and signing them up, because if they sign me up, you know, it's like, what's the use signing a guy up at that stage? What was I, 45? You know, 45. It's like you're not going to get much longevity out of that person. You know what I mean? It's like
the irony of it is you've probably got more longevity than all those four. You know what I mean?
What can I say, mate? Well, you know, I must admit that I have I made like some real true deep lifelong friends on that show, and you know the band, most of the people in that band we had played together already, like numerous times, you know. And you know what blew my mind? What blew my mind the most was the way that you get treated when like people are watching you on TV and they're in awe of what you're doing. And it's like you go into a shop and, you know, you'll give them $20, you know, you buy something and then they'll like give you $25 change and pass it to you, you know, or, you know,
really?
Oh yeah, people, they're gobsmacked by the fact that that head that was on TV is in their shop or whatever, and they just lose control. Actually, you know, or they shortchange by accident. You know, so imagine being as famous as like Ricky Martin or you know, or Prince or Paul McCartney. You know.